Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Goosebumps HorrorTown playthrough. This is the Crafting 101 section for the new Halloween 2020 event, known simply as Trick or Trap. Now, before we begin discussing on what this event has to offer, especially when it comes to crafting wise and items and whatnot, this is going to be mentioning something here. I am very well aware that this update has pretty much had some interesting feedback, let's put it that way. A lot of people are frustrated, and I can see why. Now, I am going to hopefully have this video be a bit more helpful when it comes to whether or not you should or shouldn't do anything like that. And it's going to be a bit, chaotic. I would just like to suggest to keep it civil down in the comment section below. Just because of, I've been seeing on certain social medias that it is not the best as far as reactions go. But I'm hoping that in good time, people will probably settle down, and hopefully we might get a response from the company. But as of right now, yeah, we're just going to make work what we got. So yeah, here we go. So, today we're going to be talking about how you can get yourself the grand prize this time around, which is the Book of the Dead. It's a very interesting prize, and it looks like it might be animated, but I'm not 100% sure. It would be curious if it's another animation. I don't know for sure. I don't think it is, but again, one of our grand prizes that we got last time was animated, and it seems like they're doing animations again. So, perhaps. So this is going to look more in depth when it comes to the treat, I believe it's called the treatery, and what that's all about, and then go in depth when it comes to all that more. And before we go into the gameplay video of me commentating over this, what I will suggest, and one thing I will mention, is the currency this time around seems like they're a little bit more generous when it comes to giving us a lot more currency. And hopefully that is for the better. Again, it's really early to start with this, so I don't know if that's going to be the case. It's basically, long story short, if you played this game up to this point, this is your third Halloween, you're probably going to be fine. If it's new, what you'll need to know is that some of the returning items I don't think is required in order to get this. The only thing you'll need is probably the gummy bears, but that's easy to get. So, with that in mind, let's just go and jump into Phone Grim as he talks about what is needed for this quest. Okay, we just started and I'm already 90% done. And as we're looking at this creepy looking well, yes, it is now time to go ahead and tell you how you too can get to the grand prize. In this case, it's the Book of the Dead. Not to be confused with the Ectonomicon or the other book. You know which one, the other Book of the Dead. This one looks a little bit more interesting and creepy. I'll admit, it is also very creepy. But, that being said, you'll probably notice we have to do Jewels, Treats, Mystery Boxes, the Golden Tooth, and then the Book of Treats. Or the Books of Tricks, my bad, not Treats. But yeah, the Book of Tricks in this case is going to be the one that's going to be the most hard one to get. But let's just go ahead to the treatery, and talk about how this is going to work. So, as you can see, the Book of Treats is going to be the one that's going to be the hardest to get. And you're going to be needing the Gold Tooth to get the Cursed Seeds, Boo Shackles, and Nightshades. And again, it's going to be right over here, this area. But let's go ahead and talk about how this is supposed to work. So, as you'll probably notice the Skull Candies and Cursed Seeds will be needed in order to get the Haunted Skull Candy. That will also lead into the Death Mask, which you'll need the Skelly's Bracelet, which you'll get from Skelly's Altar scene. The Mystery Boxes, you'll need the Death Mask, as well as 2 of the Scrap Jewelry, as well as the Gnome Pipe, unfortunately. I'll talk more about the Scrap Jewelry, the Crook and Franel, and the Sorrow Chokers
those are easy to get as far as, like, you just place them and there you go. And if you've actually played this game for a while, you probably have all the characters needed for 100%, or to get it fairly easy as long as you have Slappy around and the other characters. You don't need Satyr for so much for the solo chokers, but, should be easy enough regardless. One thing I'll note, though, the only thing I can see being difficult is the gnome pipes, because the drops on those are just god-awful. You've probably seen me and others play through this, and we've just been having a terrible time. So allow me to go ahead and tell you what you should do. If you need to be using the gnome pipes in order to get the mystery box, as you'll notice, if you just do this, 40%, nah, that's garbage. That is completely garbage. That's not going to do anything. It'll say to use $1, it gives you up to 70%. Now, $1 just premium just to play this is kind of stupid. However, there's something I'm going to suggest that probably will help you guys out. And that is this, the drive-in theater. Every time you watch a commercial, you get one free ticket, not ticket, but you know what I mean, the goose bucks. I suggest you every so often, before you go ahead and summon the gnome scene, watch a scene here. Every 3 hours, it'll reset, allow you to watch another ad, and then do it again, and then hopefully get 70% is better than 40%. It's still sucky. They should change it, but what can you do? Unfortunately, this is what we have to work with. The other thing is, too, when it comes to some of these, it seems like the prices here is going to be a little bit more interesting when it comes to the, what do you call it? Right. Anyways, I might as well talk about this, too. It seems like the Drool's treats as well as the pumpkin seeds are going to be the easy items to get. Most of the characters that you see during this update will be dropping these, either one or the other or both. So use them to your heart's content. So what you think would be the best option in order to get this stuff. The gummy bears. If you have played through this game since the very beginning, if you have played through the Haunted Halloween, or you played through last year's Halloween, which was the Horrorland update, or you just so happen to be like me and bought the Haunted Halloween for the sole purpose of doing a review again of, this will be it right here. As you'll notice, this will require you to have the coins, and then we'll use some of these here. Now, doing all this is not going to be that much. I mean, you're spending a little bit of your Halloween bag, candy, currency. But again, not that terrible. It's very interesting to watch it summon, especially the 50%, because it's a really giant gummy bear. But anyways, that usually covers to get these stuff here. The golden tooth, on the other hand, is going to be a little bit more difficult. Just because if you're going to be playing this by yourself, really at first you're only able to do this, which is 15%, which is really awful. At some point you'll be able to summon the Lillian, which will give you only 30%, which is really, really awful. I don't know why it is the case. I'll talk about the one character down below in a minute, just to explain certain things. But, anyways, we have the... So how it's working, it seems like it's going down progression in order to get to the bigger item here. Now, for most of this seems to be more explanatory as far as the Book of Treats. You'll need each of these items in order to just craft one. Now, you might also notice that Boo Shackles and Nightshades, you can get them other ways, and I'll explain that in a minute. But I'll give you my opinions on that. The mystery boxes, though, is going to be a little bit more of a challenge, I would say, due to the fact of just getting not really so much this or even this, but more so with the gnome pipe, in my opinion. The other items here seems to be really easy to craft for the most part. The skull candies, I don't see any problems with that, especially if you decide to go with 100% for the candy treats. The cursed seeds, on the other hand, might be more of a challenge in order to do. So, I don't know. I mean, 30% seems really, really low for such a crappy, just to get anything here. I'm not sure how much it costs just to get one of these. Again, you can question this if you want, but it seems like the death mask, in order to get that, you just need to sacrifice $7. That's still a little bit less, but hey, if you can't really be bothered with this, you can just do that instead. And then, yeah, so it, look, to make it even more ridiculous, you know what? Sorry. Yeah, I just realized something. You don't even need to bother with this. It's like, well, this is going to be your hardest one, the mystery box, right? But if you're like, nah, I don't want to deal with the Boo Shackles and Nightshade, you know what? Just do it there. $7 just to get one book. So that means you're probably 7 times 4 is, let's just see here. So it's, let me just take a look. You're looking at probably like less than $30 at least. Yeah, let's just see this right now. Yeah, you're looking at like somewhere around 21, 7, 14. Yeah, you're looking at $21 just if you're gonna buy with Goosebucks. That's a lot. But if you're playing through this game, you probably will have enough. Or maybe you're like me, you're like, man, that's nothing. So again, I guess that's a better alternative than what they're giving you, which I will point out in a minute. So I guess in a way, this pretty much sums up all this stuff here. Now, as you know with the game, I could talk more about with the haunted house in a minute. But as you know with this game, there's always certain other items that you can do in order to craft stuff. So let me go ahead and explain this here. Now, I just started this quest line. I'm on the 3rd part now. And as I've noticed since the last one, things can change. Some people will get more items. So I wouldn't be surprised if this will end up being the case where more items will be added to the game. So keep that in mind. That's probably a very high possibility that that's what's going to happen here in this case. But there are 2 scenes that will drop, or what they call suppliers, that will drop you items. The first one is this treat machine. It will drop you a bone every 6 hours. It's not the greatest, to tell you the truth, because you can get the bones a lot more quickly, but hey, it's something there. But something to note that I would suggest you probably look into, and this item is needed in order to open up the book, is this, the Haunted Jacko. This item here is what I would refer to as the Christmas tree, which I'll show you real quick, so long as the game doesn't crash on me. Just let it load in real quick. And this is so much better than my last one. Okay, they're right there. So you see this Christmas tree right here? This was back in 2018 when you had the Attack of the Christmas Present. So this tree right here, this used to drop items, and every time you upgrade it, it'll drop you better items. So it seems like as of right now, when you put this down, it's going to drop you... Let me just see this. Yeah, it's going to drop you pumpkin seeds. And there are 6 levels to this thing. I have no idea how much it's going to cost in order to upgrade it, but I assume the more you upgrade, the higher items is going to be in the trance that is going to drop you something even better. And I've seen what the pumpkin's going to look like near the end, and oh boy, it's a treat within itself. It really gets the name implied, but you'll see that during the part in the playthrough when you play through this stuff here. But I digress. So, before we talk about our mainstays, I might as well talk to you about the characters that will assist you during this update. So, Lucy, Dustin, Brooke, all these characters are going to drop you, like I said, either the dog treats or the pumpkin seeds. There are a few characters, though, that you should mention, that I'm going to point out, that is a little bit more intriguing. Now, like I said, most of these characters in the backdrop here, you probably already have or know, and they're pretty straightforward what they're explaining. However, I'm going to point out some characters that are more unique in their aspect as far as what they drop goes. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is Sunny. Sunny is our character that's just returned, and he's actually going to be useful for... I think he's out. He's probably out exploring right now. Yeah, there he is. Yep, he's doing this. Yeah, so he's doing that, but for some reason I can't. Okay, cool. So Sunny's just busy doing this. Hopefully he'll be able to be done so I can use him. But yeah, Sunny is our returning character. If you played through the Haunted Halloween and you've gotten through all the other stuff, you should hopefully be able to just have them in your town already, so you'd be already ahead of the game. But then if you're the unfortunate poor person who just came into this game and never gotten Sunny at all, then you'd be happy to know that in order to get him, you can take the candies and spend them for 18,000. He is going to be the most expensive item in the game. Why, may I ask, is that the question? Especially for what he's dropped with. The only thing you can get him for that he actually helps you with is the skull candy. He actually is one of the characters that drops you this thing. And, you know, he's featured in the story slightly, but he's not like a main character. He's mostly for the Haunted Halloween storyline, which, by the way, you can either do that and spend that much money to get him, or if you're like myself, you can get him through the Haunted Halloween bundle. And luckily, unfortunately for you, that bundle is going to be staying, or it's a mainstay. So all you need to do is just hopefully that thing comes around and you just buy it. It's a bit expensive, but if, again, I'll have its own story here, but basically it comes with all the items, all the scene items, all that character stuff, and even Walter, who is now unfortunately exclusive. I don't know why they did that, but you know what? You know, it's $700. He's not worth it that price, so you know, fine. He's just part of the story now, so that's something within itself. Right. So there's that. So now I'm going to talk about some other characters here. Okay, I'll talk about Curly in a minute. Okay. So RB Fairday, right here. He is another character, like, if you got him beforehand, he provides you with the skull candy. Aaron and the other character will give you either the dog treats or the pumpkin seeds, so, you know, and the other characters do. Like, again, characters I do not show you that's a backdrop will only drop you candy, not candy, but it will drop you either the pumpkin seeds or the dog treats. But then, so we got that. And then we have, I believe, let me just see here. I think it's, yeah, okay. So I'm just looking at my notes here, sorry. So if you have successfully gotten yourself Thalia last event, I know this was a very hard character to do. Some of you ended up getting her, so congrats. Others, it sucks. But if you do get her, you're happy to know that she also drops you candy. So, again, she helps you with something that you can achieve to get out of the system. It would be better if it was the Haunted Seeds, but what can you do? It's better than nothing, right? Now then, if you were someone who decided to buy himself the last premium character, which is Mr. Chameleon, not only will he drop you the dog treats, the pumpkin seed, and the skull candy, but he is the only character, besides the new ones, that drops you the cursed seed. So if you get this guy, then you're able to get the haunted candy thing real easy. But hold that thought, because it gets even better, because now I'm going to be talking about the new exclusive characters. Now, before I do that, let's go ahead and talk about the scenes that has gotten introduced. So I'll show you the one scene that you'll most likely get, and that is this one right here, Skelly's Altar. Skelly's Altar is the only scene that is available with this currency, which is the candy bag, and she drops to 75%. I'm not sure about the cooldown rate, but I'm sure it's probably not that, like, for the past few ones it hasn't been that bad, so I'm going to be assuming that's going to be the same thing here. Honestly, it's going to be out of 3 out of 4 chances you're going to get it. So really just keep on doing it. You should probably be fine once you get to this scene here. I don't think she costs that much compared to the other characters, but that's neither here or there. Now, I mentioned before, when it comes back to the Boo Shackles and the Nightshades, there are other ways to get it. Yep, there is. As you see over here, this is Boo's Crypt, which if you summon her, will give you a chance to get the shackles for 85%. And then, of course, if you get Nightshade, no, not the treat machine. If you get Nightshades 2, you're guaranteed to get the shades, and it doesn't cost anything to get. These 2 scenes cost bucks. This one in particular costs 500. I am sorry. She and the other sister is not worth that price. I don't care how you justify it with the, oh, but she's free, you can summon her anytime you want, or, oh, you can only get 5, you know, that's good. No, I'm sorry. That is not worth money. Compared to characters and whatnot, that is not worth it. Especially if you look over here to show you how ridiculous it is. Like I showed you, the books. Worst case scenario, you're going to use bucks in order to get the books you want. I hate how you have to just go back here in order to get the thing. The load in. Okay, yeah. So let's... Yeah, see? So you can just use this stuff items here. So yeah, this is going to be hard, this is going to be hard. But you know what? Screw that. If you can only just get this, just buy the other 2. I'm sure they're not going to cost that much. Like, it's better than buying these here. Like, oh my god, look how much that's... Wow, you could just do that. Do that instead. It's a lot more easier. Do not waste your money on this type of stuff here. Now, I'm going to be talking about 2 other characters. Let's talk about the freemium character. The one that you'll probably get during this update. And that is Drool. I might as well just go all the way over here, so give me a sec. There you are. Drool. So Drool not only drops the dog treats, the pumpkin seed, the skull candy, and even the cursed seeds, he is the only character that helps you drop the haunted skull candy. So basically, you can have him just do nighttime and just, you know, all this stuff here, this all stuff, ignore all that bull, just do the haunted skull treat candy. And he's free. So if you can't really be bothered with all this stuff here, with the bones, the pumpkin seeds and all that, which is needed for getting the mask in order to get the other thing, like see, you can just skip all that and just have Drool do this, and you'll be fine. And then you can just worry yourself with this stuff here in order to get all that stuff. Now, that being said, we have one last character to talk about. And this character, you'd be debating on what and not. So as of right now, during this first week, there is a bundle with him and everybody else included, which is worth 30 bucks Canadian, 20-ish bucks if you're American, and then vice versa, comparing where you are, cost a lot. Now, if you want to get them in this bundle, you can. You don't need to. My suggestion is, if you haven't gotten him, and if you're debating if you want to get him, my suggestion is wait until the second week comes around and there's another bundle that will have him out of the other characters, and it should be a bit cheaper. But yeah, let's talk about our boy Curly. Because, oh boy, he is a unique character. Which means, in order to get him, you need to pay money. Now, some of you are pretty upset by that and think that's kind of bull. Now, as I will mention during this playthrough, this guy has been in the making since April, especially since his home comes in a crypt that is awfully suspiciously look exactly like the one back in April. This guy was in the development that long time. That being said, all these items here are all animations, except for these ones down here, but that's more or less a fun little series. But all these characters, all these items, all animated. They has like 6 or 7 animations. Plus, there are, as I hear from the ether, the next 2 updates will have him have unique animations as well. So if you do get him, you'll be able to see more animations that will come with him. But if you get Curly, not only will you get the camouflage, the head juggle, I'm talking about his animations, but not only will you get the dog treats, the pumpkin seeds, the skull candy, the cursed stuff, and even the haunted skull candy, but screw all that. He drops you gummy bears, which in itself is a joke. You don't really need that, right? That's like, that's whatever. But it gets better. He drops you the death mask. So you're thinking to yourself, oh, that's great. He's going to help me get the box and everything like that. But oh, no, no, no. It gets better than that. He drops you the mystery box. So basically, if you go ahead and buy Curly, this is the level of Farday we're talking about here. Not only does he have a lot of animations, but he basically just destroys this event. He breaks it because he gives you all the items needed just to get this update. Not only that, but like I said before here, you know, you can do the version of Lillian's 30%, or you can have the Chad Curly 70% to get 100, or just deal with the, you know, free 70% type of deal. You're much better than, you know, they really want you to get Curly through a bundle deal, and it kind of sucks, and it's kind of shady the fact that they're doing this. But at the same time, out of all the characters I've seen in this game that is unique, quote unquote, I feel like Curly probably is the justification of having such a title, in my opinion. Would I like them to be in books and actually free? Of course I would. Who wouldn't? He is a character that is worth getting. At the same time, his whole character arc is that being a narrator, so he's not really needed within the storyline. Not to mention all the other stuff here too. So if you really want to get Curly in your town, but you don't want to spend the big family bundle, my suggestion is wait until another bundle comes around. Most likely than not, they seem to do this. They'll have them outside the area, and if you should get them, I think you would. Honestly, in my opinion, I would think wait until the bundle goes down to it's just him in it, then get it. And I wouldn't be surprised if they also throw in Drool in there as well. But really, if you do get Curly, you basically just get this through this event. But regardless of that, if you don't get Curly and you say you're a free-to-play player, you don't want to spend any money on this thing, is this physically possible for you to play through and get this stuff? Now, as far as getting through this quest and getting the items, I believe it is. Once you get Drool, I think it's going to be a lot more easier to get the Death Mask. Like, once you get Drool as well as Scully, I'm guessing these two things are going to be easy. And then if I told you, you know, to do this type of stuff here too, that would be fine. And again, if you want to just skip this bull of the Boo and the Nightshade stuff, you can just get this and then just buy the rest out, because it's probably going to be cheaper to do rather than whatnot. You probably make that back anyways. You just need 4 of them. I would suggest you not going after the book prize or stuff like that just yet. Wait until the quest tells you craft this, because then you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone without wasting any materials. Now, speaking of the quest line, if you do get Curly, he comes with his own quest. Drool will come with his own quest, and then of course there's the main quest line here. Now something, before we continue off, what I'll mention is that this here, the Jacko House, this is actually a house building that you can actually put down, and it will come with a person. I don't think it's a unique person, I don't think it's like a skeleton, unfortunately, but it's weird that there's going to be a rando who will live in some random pumpkin house. I don't know. I haven't seen anything that would suggest that, but it would be funny if that is the case. But we'll find out. But yeah, just a note, just so you know, this here, yeah, keep an eye on that number. Every time you put a character down or whatnot, that number will go up. And if you buy stuff through bundles, that number can go exceed, but that means you won't be able to add anything more. The only way you'll be able to add more stuff is if you actually get expansion land. You start to see that here. So, let's keep that in mind. Before I end it off, no, I'm not going to talk about Fred Pharmacy. Go all the way to the book prize right here. So, like I said, you'll need to get the... In order to get the book, you need to put down the Haunted Jack-o'-lantern. Weirdly enough, it's level 5 in order to unplay this. I don't know why so low, but okay, whatever. So then you might be asking yourself, what about the book prize? Well, it seems like in order to get to the book prize, you have to play through the event, and most likely you're going to have to get the event prize. But if you're curious on what that looks like, it looks like something like this. And if you manage to get yourself through the event, chances are you'll probably be able to get through this book price as well. I'm not sure exactly what has dropped, but it seems like it's been manageable for the most part. I'm hoping it's the same kind of thing here. But again, it seems like if anything else, if you do miss this out, you could do it through a book special bundle, as they usually tend to have it as of late. But what can you do? All right. So with that in mind, let's go back over here to this. So the quest is going down, counting down. So last time for September, I did pretty well when it comes to predicting what I think this quest is going to end on. So I was just checking this stuff out just to make sure I was doing the right thing. And according to what time we have left, this is going to end Wednesday, November 4th, 2020 at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now you might be saying, wait a minute, why exactly that time? It's a lot shorter than it's explaining here. And yeah, it is. That's because during this time, on Sunday, November 1st, is going to be daylight savings. That's when it's going to end. Meaning that the clock is going to go back. Meaning that we're going to gain an hour. Which means that this time doesn't change with the clock. So instead of being 7, it's going to be 6. So keep this mental note in mind as far as we see here. So yeah, good luck on all that. I hope this was less confusing and a little bit more understanding, but you know what? You know how it works. Comment down below if you have any suggestions of what you think would make this a bit better, and if you've found any tips or tricks, let us know. I'd like to expand and keep this community alive. So, that will be it from me. Hopefully you enjoy this Halloween treat, and hopefully you enjoy this Halloween season. So, yeah, I'll see you next time for whatever Goosebumps HorrorTown playthrough comes with. And until then, have a good one.